Folks, thanks for joining me once again. This is a pretty quick update video. I haven't done these before actually. I haven't an update on a product or products, something I haven't really done. But I'm doing this for a very important reason. Now, a while back I reviewed the VooPoo Drag Nano pod kit. And I mean, generally, aesthetically, I really liked it. Love the way it looks, love everything about it, apart from the pod. The pod that you got was bloody awful. I'll tell you what, I'll show you what I said about it. Now this is where it really lets me down. This pod, let's start with the basics. Removing this cap's it's okay, it's a bit of a fiddle, but that comes off. That's some cheap plastic that can bend and is going to break one day. It feels like a cheapo budget pod, considering the device feels so well built, so high quality, nice resin panel. This lets it down. The filling port, the little filling hole there, it looks like a large hole, doesn't it? But once you've got a bottle nib in there, even if you try and leave a bit of gap for air to escape, air does not escape. So it's taken me kind of a couple of minutes to try and fill it up. You have to put a few drops in, let it rest, a few more drops in, let a bit of air escape. It's an absolute pain. Just a little pod poof. That's all it is. Anyway, Flavor Clouds, right, it's a letdown, unfortunately. The coil, just the flavours are very muted. Very muted. I'm getting a very slight blackcurrant. I'm getting barely any menthol. Yeah, the flavour's really poor. Poor. Muted. Not nice. Boring. Not enjoyable. Not getting that experience that I'm after. It's just such a shame that the pod is so poor quality. If they can sort out the coil, I'd like a bit more information, but if they could sort out the coil, if they can sort out the flavour, if they can sort out the filling and make the pod itself a better quality. It just feels cheap, especially when you're sticking it in something like this. It's like putting a flipping Fiat engine in a Ferrari. Really. So I'm guessing I'm not the only person that said that, because VooPoo have come up with an update. The new P1 pod. P1 pod, 1.6 milliliter capacity. It's got 1.5 ohm coil. What have they done? What have they improved? Okay, let's do a very quick comparison. I'm not going to faff around. I don't want to use up too much of your time. So here's the original pod, and there's the updated version. Now, straight away, you can see a humongous size difference. Second of all, they've made this part transparent, so you can actually see your juice. And the third, and one of the most important things I was pleased to see with this update, was the top fill, the fill in these pods. With the original ones, once you get these awful caps off, which are blowing pain in the ass, you've got a tiny little filling slot. Can you see that? Anyway, it's on the side. It was awful. It was a pain to fill. You'd get bubbles. The air wouldn't escape. Just awful. Just awful. The new one, however, same kind of thing. You take this cap off, which is a bit of a faff, yeah, but it does come off, and you get a nice silicone bung there. You can pop that off completely. It stays on there, and look, two nice filling slots. Still pretty small, but they're at the top, and they're allowing air to escape. So you're filling from the top, beautiful. So they've solved two of the big issues, the fact that you couldn't see your juice, and the second with filling. Performance though, performance is the big thing. So I'm vaping on some pod salt e-liquid sent to me from Jules Mama Vapes. Thank you very much, Jules, for sending me a load of different tobacco flavours that I'm working my way through and testing out. So thank you very much to Jules Mama Vapes. Go and check her out. Check her out. Go and check her out and subscribe, guys. Top UK reviewer. I've really got a lot of time for Jules. She's an absolute angel. So I've got some of that in the new P1 pod. I'll give you a little bash to tell you what I think. If you've seen the little video a second ago, vapor production certainly improved. I'm going to try kind of a very restricted mouth to lung as well. Has the flavour improved? Absolutely. Still not amazing, but there's flavour there now. There's flavour there, whereas before there was basically nothing. Getting a nice throat here. Getting a nice cloud. Getting a lot of the flavour. Now I do have another pod here on the go with some of nasty salts. It's basically lemon and lime. Or it's lime. That's what I'm getting in these P1 pods. So I've just swapped that over, put that one in there. And yeah, I'm getting sweet hints. I'm getting the lemon, lime, everything. Nice and pleasant. One observation, one thing I'm not happy with these updated pods, I'll give you a little vapor and you'll listen. So the automatic switch, for some reason, isn't quite right on the updated pods. Don't get that. There's a potential to burn out your coils. Apart from that, I'm really pleased that they've done an update. I wanted to put this video out there just so people can see that the new updated pods are a lot better. Someone who's possibly watched my review and been put off by buying one of these because of the terrible first batch of pods. Maybe now you've seen this, hopefully you might decide this is the kind of kit you're after now. The flavour is not the best for a pod system, but it is now a lot better. Just in general, the pod in general is just massively improved. Massively improved. Wick really nice. You can see a load of bubbles there. They've done almost everything I want them to do. I wish it was just a little bit more flavour, but that's just me being very picky. Well done to VooPoo for making this update pod. I think it's cracking, much better. They've obviously listened to not just my comments, but I suppose a lot of reviewers have had comments about it, and you know they've done a good thing. So well done to VooPoo for changing that. I hope that's helpful, guys. If it was, hit that like button down there and subscribe if you fancy it. Of course, you see my latest review here and a random one there, which won't be random. It's going to be the review of this little puppy, the VooPoo Drag Nano kit. I'm FlatCap Vapor. Thanks for watching.